Hello and welcome to Ecommerce Uncovered. I'm your host, Matt Lady. Each and every week, I get to talk with and learn from enthusiastic guests, freelancers, agency folks, in-house marketers, and founders, all in an effort to help you bootstrap your D2C brand profitably. We got 2 episodes a week, which will have you staying up to date on the ever-changing industry and learning fundamental concepts and tactics to apply to your brand. Enjoy the show. Today's episode is with the executive chairperson of Ventov, the creators of SEO Manager, Order Lookup, and the Clocked In Shopify apps. She's also the founder and CEO of Cavallo. They're reinventing the digital gifting experience. Rhian Beutler, welcome to the show. How the heck are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. It is almost Black Friday, almost Super Bowl time, and we're just almost surviving, but we're thriving over here. So we had to reschedule a couple times and finally excited to actually hit record, and it's working this time. So
it is working.
Really pumped. So right away, we're going to start with a question from Twitter from a little while ago. Emmett from Twitter asks, why commerce and not some other industry? Like how, I just want to know like how and why you got into commerce many years ago.
Well, okay, so in the olden days, back when malls existed, I'm just kidding, malls still exist. So my very first retail job was at the Gap. Okay, let's go back further. My very first job was bagging groceries at Abco, which no longer exists. It's now Safeway. And then after that, I did some time as a girl on wheels at Sonic, delivering your food with roller skates. And then after that, my first retail job after I turned 18, I also worked in kitchens and stuff. Anyways, was at the Gap. And I worked my first winter in university. I worked at the Gap. I loved that you could put together outfits and you would sell, oh, well, you want this sweater with these pants. I loved the whole retail experience. From there, I worked in retail out of Veda. I got to work my way up there. And then I also was an assistant manager over at Michael Kors for a while, opened a Michael Kors store in Scottsdale Fashion Square. And I really liked retail. And then my very last retail job, which it kind of feels full circle in a way, was my very last retail job was working as a makeup artist at a Bobbi Brown counter in Nordstrom. And it was there that one day when I was working there, right, it was after undergrad, I graduated in the recession, not a great time to graduate. And I got a call from Wells Fargo, and they're like, hey, after 9 weeks of interviewing, we're finally going to offer you a job. And then 2 weeks into becoming a banker at banker school, Washington Mutual failed. So, I mean, that's just a really great indicator into what's happened in my career. I kept working at Wells Fargo. I moved up really, really fast, became a small business banker, moved into leadership, worked retail banking, worked corporate banking, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't remember the year, went to grad school because I got bored. I got bored / I didn't want to be a banker anymore. I was like, this kind of sucks. I was good. When you're good at something, that doesn't mean you want to do it. That was me. I was like, I am a great banker. I am a great manager of people. I'm great at this. I hate this. And it's not that I hated leading people, because clearly I do that now. It was just the banking culture. It just wasn't for me. So I left and I ended up, I was writing papers, getting published about, I was poli-sci. I wrote about terrorism and stuff, really applicable stuff to what we do now. So I was writing papers, getting published. And then my friend Josh, or my co-founder at Ventov, Josh, was like, hey, can you help edit this book called Shopify Empire? And I was like, I mean, how hard can it be? I read about torture all day. This is going to be easy. So I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting. And also, I'm not up at night having nightmares about the way Russia tortures and commit war crimes, because that's what I studied specifically. And from there, it kind of felt like a natural fit, right? Josh is an engineer. I came from, if you go back far enough, actual retail. Yep. And which is something I think a lot of people in e-commerce lack, is actual retail experience.
I'm sure that's so prevalent. I know I don't have that much at all, so I understand.
and and bringing that like humanity, right? And not saying that Josh lacks humanity, but saying he's an engineer.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's jokes, right? Like I also wrote a bunch of content and helped, like when Recharge was first starting out and stuff like that. And I'd be like, Oshin, what do you mean when you say this? Right? And it'd be a lot of like, Josh, when you say this, what are you trying to say? And I called myself like the engineer, like decoder, translator.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. That's the really long-winded version of how I got into this, and now I'm here 10 years later, and I really like it. It really marries things I enjoy. It marries technology, social sciences, and retail, and I love retail. And
Yeah.
I never
So
stopped loving retail. Like I kind of like, it's like I kind of sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, like I'd do a pop up and be fun.
just of whatever, just like any product.
Yeah, why not? Like selling things is fun. And if we lose, this is where I think people get it wrong. We lose track of it, right? Like it's like, oh, well, it's all numbers and, KPIs, whatever. Well, what if we just what if we make buying online like buying in person just on the internet instead of
Hmm.
doing dumb stuff? I don't know. I digress.
No. Well, for now, that's great. That's a good intro, good context, foundation of where we're gonna head. So that's excellent. So I think that's a common trend, a common piece, a string that I've been having with conversations with people as I record this show a couple times a week, right? Like people, oh yeah, there's these numbers and these tactics and these strategies, but like something always comes back to like just do what you would want to do if you were shopping in person. Or like imagine you were in a store and you were trying to check out. Like, would you want something to like yell at you while you're waiting in line? Probably
Thank
not.
you.
So I would love to like get your thoughts and opinions on all this stuff, because that's a common thing I've been noticing and I've been experiencing about humanizing commerce and whatever, which is like in itself an oxymoron, because commerce started physically and in person and before internet and all this stuff. So um, what what's like, how has it evolved over the years? You got into this like a long time ago, and now it's 2022, almost 2023. What's the biggest change, or what are some big changes that have happened since when you first started selling online or helping people sell online to now? Advancements and trends, or consumer expectations, or technology? What do you got?
Ooh. Oh, well, I mean, a lot has happened. Okay, so this is a really spicy take. I don't
Ooh.
like the gold rush on Shopify that much. Like, I'm all about entrepreneurship for everybody. I don't think I see some folks, and like, power to them. It's not my speed. Like, oh, I'm going to place 10 bets and see what works. These are people's, these are people's companies. I'm not betting with people's companies. I'm not over here trying to change gifting and to go out of business in a week. Like that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're making companies rely on you and you're like, "Oh, I'm just betting on it." I'm not betting on other people's businesses. I'm betting on myself, but I'll win. And I have a really big problem with using other people's legacies in the way that they're building their small businesses, like us just using them as pawns. Like these are human beings who own small businesses. They are people, and it pisses me off.
Wow.
Frankly,
Yeah.
like I don't view things. It's like you get told like, oh, Rhian, it's okay to fail. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not okay to fail. Because if I fail, I hurt people, and that's really not okay. I didn't get into this business to make a quick buck. Have I made money? Yeah, I've made money, and it's been fucking awesome. But you know what? I didn't make money overnight. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. This
Mm-mm.
is something you go and you do the hard work. And if you make money, awesome. But you should be in this industry because you love it, not because you want to make money.
Wow.
That's a very spicy take. But I stand by
Love
it.
it. No, I love that.
Like
Uh,
merchants are people. Why are we? They're not numbers.
no, we get lost in the sauce and the code and the numbers and the KPIs and oh my ROAS and my MER and my CPAs and my click through rates, conversion rate. How do I squeeze more money out of people? It's just not the right way to look at it sometimes.
No, it's like we are, and this is, I don't ever forget. So I interviewed when I was at Wells Fargo. I got promoted in record time from a personal banker to a small business banker. And I one of the reasons why, right? I'm like in this room full of men being interviewed on a panel interview. It's the worst. And I'm the only woman in the room.
Ugh.
And everyone does this, they're like, why should you get this job? Right? They do that. And lots of people do that, like, oh, well, it's my next step in my career. Why, by the way, worst answer ever. If I'm interviewing you and you tell me that this is the next step in your career, I'm not hiring you. It is my least favorite thing to hear because a job, I don't know. It's yuck. It's like, well, no, so you don't give a shit. So I said then, and I stand by it to this day, that small businesses are the backbone of American society and really the world. They make the world go round, and small businesses can take families from rags to riches. They can build legacies and empires forever. And I want to support that. Like that, it makes me so pumped. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking, how can I help small businesses be more successful? I'm not sitting here thinking, how can I get more rich?
Yeah.
If I wanted to be richer, I'd be an investment banker.
Yep. I got chills, and it's not just because it's cold. Like that was awesome. Like I am a little chilly, but that was wow. I love that. That's what's up. That's really cool. Okay, so more humanity, more how can we help other people, more
Yeah.
about not, and you're saying it's not okay to fail because if you as Rhian and Govalo fail and you're letting all these other brands down, all these other small business owners and their families down.
Yeah. I feel like I have a moral obligation to succeed so that other people can continue to succeed. And I'm building technology that will forever change the way they do business and help them make more money. If I make money in the process, that's awesome. I hope I do. I have investors who might listen to the show. Like my goal is to make money. My goal is to take Govalo public. Like don't get me wrong. Like this isn't a charitable endeavor, but in the end, like failure is not an option. And I think that there's this like concept in venture-backed companies, especially where it's like, oh, it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. I've had all these failed companies. Fuck that. I've had none.
Fuck that. I've had none. Boom. If you're holding a mic, that's when it'd be dropped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. So think less about maybe your own personal success selfishly and keep other people in mind so that it's because it's an ecosystem. Like you can't win without the merchants. The merchants can't win as effectively or at scale without the technological partners like Govalo and other apps. That's just kind of how Shopify has been created.
And you've got to check your ego at the door. Like, nobody is God's gift. Like, first of all, I can't remember who said this. I think it was Larry Page at Google, but I'm probably wrong. Like, we're not curing cancer.
No.
But we might impact people's ability to feed their families. And I do take that shit seriously. So there's like a little bit of kind of call them both there. But yeah, that's you're getting. Is this a Monday? You're getting me on a Monday. You're getting full Rhian on a Monday during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I haven't stopped working for like 18 days or something in a row. But that's part of this. This is again. It's like if you're a founder of a company that powers other companies during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Like I have Josh at my house right now from Ventov. Like today I'm probably going to work like, I don't know, 15, 18, 19, I don't know, an amount of hours because, we're planning. So Ventov, like we don't do as much business at this time of year, right? Because like if your SEO is not done by now, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Order lookup app that does business. We do a lot of volume. Last year we tracked something like 14 million orders over Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Wow.
And our time tracking app, we just have to make sure it's stable, right? But people aren't like making those infrastructure type changes. So we're going to meet today, have lunch and chat. And then, whereas Cavallo, like we're actively onboarding merchants, like nonstop right now.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's just gift cards.
Yeah, it's gift giving season, gift buying season. Wow. Yeah. And this Cavallo came about within the last 2 years, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. And
That is
so
correct.
what led to that inception of Cavallo? Like gift cards and like physical gift cards, as you know, I'm sure you gave out plenty in your retail days.
Oh my
Like
God.
they have as a concept, they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
You have some.
I
Yeah.
have a whole stack. I'm not joking. For my daughter's bat mitzvah, she's about to turn 17. The stack is over here.
Happy birthday
I
to
like,
her.
4 years ago, she did her, did her bat mitzvah thing, and
Yeah.
now we always joke about it. She's like, "When can I spend the like some of these brands don't even exist anymore."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Shit, I'm gonna have to give her money." But so basically, what happened was this. Do you know Deb Mecca?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
She was on the show about a few weeks ago.
okay, so I've known her. Like, I met her at the first Unite.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago that was. Who cares? 7, 8. Earlier today, I was on the phone with another founder, and I was like, yeah. So like when I was 19, and then I was like, so 18 years ago, and I was like, I don't like that for myself.
Yeah.
So I was trying to buy her something for her birthday. She doesn't even know this. I was trying to buy her a gift card for her birthday. Must have been her birthday. And the gift card got sent to me, right? Because that's the Shopify native gift card experience. And I was like, this is trash. And then I forwarded it to her and I texted her. And I just was like, why isn't anybody solved this yet? Like what? And then, for the folks who have tried to solve it, it's like it doesn't look like it's wrapped in the brain. It's not developer friendly. It doesn't do all the things. It doesn't really help with conversion rate. And conversion rate matters for the merchant. And I was like, it's got to be better than that. And so I started building alongside my former co-founder this product, and she was really jazzed on it. She's no longer with the company, and we started building this excellent company, and started really thinking about the why behind gifting. Why do people gift? Why don't they gift more? Why does gift card redemption suck so much? 47% of all gift cards go unredeemed. But
That's
at
a lot.
Cavallo, in our year one, 68% of all gift cards have been redeemed, and that's just year one. So it's like, there's like multiple things to solve here. And this isn't just a simple feature. This is a product, and this is a platform. And so really we started talking about gift cards, but after she left, I started thinking more about like, let's go big. Like, let's use this as a wedge into a much broader market. Gift cards are a $550 billion industry by 2025. Gifting at large is a $2.7 trillion industry by 2027. Well, I am responsible to my investors while I'm like, fuck making money. Also, though, I am responsible to the people who gave me money. That is very real. And going after a 2.7 trillion market is always going to win over going after a $550 billion market, especially if you're laser focused and you're really strategic about it. So that's how we've come to be. We have some really good brands on our platform. We've been able to we have some of the D2C darlings like Brightland, Baboon to the Moon. We have some household names like Mikasa, GQ, Allure.
Wow.
We really run up and down, and then we've got like little brands. But a fun brand that we have. Okay, never watched Nailed It. Anyways, Jacques Torres is a very famous chocolatier, and he's on the show. And we power Jacques Torres chocolates, and I'm so amped about it. Because he's like a very famous chocolatier, and I'm a food nerd. So I totally am that person who's like, when I get to meet like a famous chef, I'm like, you are famous and you are such a master at your craft. Like, they are just incredible. So incredible at what they do. So yeah, that's what's up with Cavallo. Super excited. We're just kind of getting started. We are fundraising, but that's just like the story of every VC-backed company's life.
Okay, so now we know why gift cards, how gift cards, how big the market is, how big the gifting market is. And we know you're hungry, you're wanting to help people. So now, Rhian, how can we start to where do we start with gift cards? If someone's listening is like, oh, this sounds great. I checked out Cavallo's site while I was listening. This is cool, or any other app, but obviously yours.
Yeah,
But
probably mine too.
how probably yours. Where do we start? Where do we begin? Like you can't just throw up a gift card on as a product,
No,
right? And just expect it to work.
no. It's like
Okay.
building a Shopify store and expecting people to come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I'm going to quote, is it Sound of Music? Let's start at the very beginning because it's the very best place to start. So you need to put a gift card on your first of all, it's got to look good. You can upload your own images. I would recommend personalizing it. Always wrap your brand whenever you can. With Gavaldo, you can also change the language, so you can add your own language in, which is also really critical. And so instead of it saying who's the lucky recipient, make it reflect your brand. That's something I'm really bullish on. I would also put it in a really prominent place on your store. So I wouldn't just bury it in your footer. I would put it bang right, especially going into holiday, put it right in your header. And that's where I would start. And then I would also, when you're doing your drip campaign for emails, I'm not an email marketer, but start talking about it now and start talking about shipping deadlines now. Like, I know it seems early, but Europe's going to have an energy crisis. And if we don't think there's going to be supply chain disruptions because like things aren't as bad as it was last year was really bad. Like, we don't want to benchmark badness off of last year. Like, the supply chain still sucks.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're really communicating around shipping times and why gift cards may be better. And plus, for folks like maybe kind of well, but it's also like the more green friendly thing to do. It's more, if you send a gift card as opposed to sending a physical good that has to be returned. You're going to optimize for that too. So it's a really long way of saying just put it in your your header bar.
Header bar, start talking about it, send it in the email. Okay. And personalize it, make it look pretty, make it look branded.
Yes.
So then how do we go about treating customers who buy with a gift card versus not a gift card? Do we treat them differently? Like, is there different data that comes out from people that purchase this way?
Yeah, so with Gavala, we actually track how many outstanding gift cards you have, and then how much revenue you've generated from said gift cards. So we track the AOV of every gift card related transaction. Our AOV with a gift card, Gavala related gift card, increases by $75. So, but there's like a way to do that, right? We have our Klaviyo integration, OmniSend integration, and Drip integration. So you really want to get going with those flows and make sure it's like, hey, like segment them out. Like these folks are different buyers. Now, maybe they've bought from you before, so you have some information about their buying history. Maybe they're brand new. Also separate those out, right? Like, hey, we have a history, we can market to them. Hey, this is a brand new person whose information is new to us. That's great. That means you just acquired a customer for $0. Awesome. Zero party data for the win. And you can even reward them for that and say, hey, because you have a gift card, and also remind them that they have the gift card, because we forget that we have gift cards. We're human beings. Cavallo seeks to change this in the future, but right now, this is what we have done, is partner with those three platforms. So remind folks, and then if you already have data around them, say, well, you bought these pants, I don't know, last year. What would be awesome with said pants that you have bought, and we know you have bought? This outfit. It's like Gap. I was talking to you about like, oh, well, like, hey, there's this whole out. This is like, you already know half of the customer's outfit or wardrobe. Tell them what to pair it with. Or,
Mm-hmm.
we are really heavy, and a lot of food and bev companies use us. So it's, hey, if you're a new customer, let's say we're going to use cookies as an example. New customer, okay, well, let's say we know that most new customers try our chocolate chip cookies. Okay, so that's what you're going to sell. But to your existing customer, you're like, actually, our existing customers tend to prefer the more non-traditional, whatever a traditional cookie flavor is,
Yeah.
non-traditional cookie flavor. Let's offer those. Like, there's just a lot of really kind of intuitive selling you can do here. And then I would also say to your folks who are, this is like a kind of downstream a little bit, but who are your power users, say, hey, we'll give you a discount on gift cards. So you can send gift cards to your friends because you're such a fan of our brand, right? Why not?
Instead of paying additional Facebook tax and Google tax to acquire
Mm-hmm.
customers, just tap into the people
Your
who already love you.
existing customers is the first thing you learn. Well, I had a mentor back when I was a banker, and one of the things that he told me was every day do 5 outbound calls, like 5 cold calls, 5 warm calls, ask for reviews, or not reviews. That would be for Shopify. Ask for referrals, and then you would have at that time walk in, right? So like in a Shopify instance, you've got your warm leads, you've got your cold leads, you've got brands who already love you, so you can ask them for things. Or if you are the Shopify merchant, you've got people who already love you and are super fans of you. Make them love you even more, reward them for giving out gift cards, which by the way is going to return way better ROAS than a Facebook ad, which sucks. And then, of course, you're going to have people who just come in off the street or off the Google,
Off,
which is
off the googly loo, yeah.
off the Google, which is why you use Ventoff for SEO Manager. So you are on the front page of Google because that's where you want to be.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it's not just, I don't like using, it's just that simple, but it's trying to maximize what you're already doing. People are already buying and loving you. You have a certain amount of VIPs or super customers. And so you're saying give them a discount on gift cards to help diversify your traffic, your leads, cold, warm, etc. And they're more likely to tell them, their friends, their family, whoever, on their followers on social about you in a way that is not going to be as business and brand like, because they know the products well.
Yeah. Or it'd be like, hey, if you send 3 gift cards, we're going to give you one.
Wow. Send 3 gift cards, we'll give you one.
Or send 2. I don't know. Whatever works for you. Whatever, metrics make sense for your business. It just
Yeah.
And especially when you know that that you're making money on every deal. You are going to make money on this transaction. And if it's a super customer and you give them a gift card, it's like, this is why Old Navy and Gap, they all give out, like, in PacSun, they give out, like, in Banana Republic, give out, like, Banana Bucks or whatever. It's so you come back. And guess what? People come back and they transact off of it. Like,
Wow.
we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just making it digital.
You're making it digital, more accessible, less friction, and more fun, and more personalized. Not
way more
like you said, oh, I ordered a gift card, I get it in the physical mail, and then I have to. That's annoying. That's a nightmare. That's obnoxious. Yeah,
that's a nightmare. Like, please don't send me a physical gift card.
No,
unless it's like to Cartier. Like, I would take it. Everybody. If you want to send me a Cartier gift card, I will gladly give you my address.
But they'll send it to you. They don't want to send it to them first and then to you. That's the solve. Yeah, that's what we're going for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. So then what is there a certain category or a certain kind of product or size of brand? Like, when does it start to make sense for brands to start doing gift cards, or should it be one of your promotional strategies or levers to pull kind of any time that you have resources for it?
Yeah, so anytime. So we do have a plan that's an essential plan. So they get charged more per gift card issuance. But, we've got brands that are doing 10 grand a year up to brands that are doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year. So we really run the gamut in terms of brands that are utilizing us in different ways. And some folks that are performing the best, frankly, are the smaller brands because they're more willing to innovate.
So for a smaller brand, say we're around 1 to 2 million a year in annual rev. So you got some traction. You've definitely
Yeah.
got plenty of customers, but you're still relatively small in the grand scheme of commerce. So if someone got to this point without gift cards, how would you recommend they get started from that point versus I kind of get earlier asked just generally. I want to kind of dial in to a specific this revenue range.
Yeah, I mean, I would first ask yourself, if you're that merchant, ask yourself, why haven't you issued gift cards before? And if you're like, well, because the Shopify experience sucks, I'm like, yeah, I agree. That's why we built this. And if you're like, well, the other things are too expensive, yeah, I also agree with that too. And if you're not issuing, it's not just gift cards, right? Like we also power giftable subscriptions, giftable products. We just started supporting corporate gifting. If you're not offering a giftable option to your customers, especially around the holidays, but really year round, you're leaving money on the table because they're going to go somewhere that does. So you don't know. That's the thing. A lot of it, well, we're doing great and we've never done it before. How do you know? Like, what if you could increase your sales by 30%? You're going to tell me you're just going to leave that up to chance? You're not even going to run an experiment?
Right.
Give 83% of all Americans will give a gift card this year.
We'll give a gift card.
We'll give a gift card this year. And over 55% of every person's holiday budget is for gift cards. And you're telling me you don't want to offer gift cards? Like, to me, it's wild. It's like, again, small businesses are in the business of making money. That's why they exist.
Yeah.
More money. You can make more money.
Wow. Okay. So you got my wheels, my head spinning with some of these stats and ideas. So giftable subscriptions or giftable products, these other things you mentioned, how does that work onto your site? Is it a new SKU or is it within the same SKU? Say I wanted to gift this shirt. Do I have to go to a different page and then buy that giftable shirt, or is it on the same page?
So for subscriptions, no, same SKU, same with the product or giftable product. Giftable subscriptions, the part that people really love about it is, typically if I was to gift you a subscription, I would own the subscription. You wouldn't own the subscription. Therefore, like if you moved or you needed to skip a month or like you'd have to ask me, it's really weird. What if we're not friends anymore? I don't know. It's like a really awkward, shitty situation.
Yeah.
So we fixed that. It handshakes over. And the way giftable products work is I'm like, okay, I know you like hats. I don't know. And so I'm like, hey, I picked out a hat for you. Hats are a bad example. No, they're not a bad example. Because then you'd be like, okay, I want this color because I have enough blue hats.
Mm-hmm.
The end. And you get an email being like, Rhian bought you a hat from X brand. And then you'd be like, okay, cool. And you get to, like, that means I don't need to know your address. You know all those Google forms that are getting passed around at this time of year?
Yeah.
That are like, hey, I need your address so I can send you presents. And I'm like, I have so many branded gifts. I don't need any more, but whatever. I'll probably fill it out. Okay. So like, what if you didn't have to do that? And you could just send it. And that person could then fill out their information. You still get to collect the data. You just do it in a way that isn't a Google form or a type form.
Yeah.
Or a HubSpot form.
Okay. So then I want to go back to the subscription, which is I bought you a year subscription to Audible, right? Like, and you want to listen to books and shit. I don't want to keep paying that for the rest of my life. I just bought you the first year.
Right.
So what you're saying is can you set the amount of time? Is it after the first purchase? It's customizable?
It's customizable. So it's
of the gift. Wow.
It's based off of frequency, right? So let's say I bought you 6 months to, I don't know. Yeah, Audible. I bought you 6 months to Audible. What you would do is you would put in your own information, including your billing information. And then what we're advising our merchants to do is to start a drip campaign like, hey, you have 2 months left or 3 months left on your subscriptions. You have 2 months left on your subscriptions, 1 month left. Don't forget, you can toggle on your subscription because we already have your credit card information. So just click it.
So that there's no loss in the next order if it's a physical product, and if it's deodorant, your next deodorant isn't going to get delayed because you've accepted toggled it on.
Exactly. Like my daughter loves Owl Crate and Book of the Month. Loves it. But sometimes she skips She skips it and she'll like do it so she saves more because she knows she's going to get another subscription. Like she gets one every, like people do things like that because they're hoping they get another subscription. But what if they don't? That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I digress.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So say you did give me that hat and you sent it to me, and then I fill up my information,
mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, you gave me a blue hat, but as I'm wearing a blue hat, I have like 12 blue hats, and I could really use any other color but blue. Can I then swap which hat I get from you? Question mark.
It depends. So if it's like a SKU with so if it's like a product and there's 20 variants, yes.
But not a different SKU entirely.
Not yet.
Not yet. TM.
Not
soon.
Yet.
Soon.
Yes. Yep.
That's cool. No, that's like we do that in store. You go back, you return this stuff. You like, oh, I want to swap this out. It's so yeah, sure, no problem. Most stores, some stores, like, oh, you have to return it within a certain amount of time, and these conditions,
twirl
whatever.
Around and
do a dance and sing a song and
have the receipt, and you're like, oh, I don't have that.
Yeah, hold on. Are you still printing receipts? Hold on.
Yeah.
So no, this seems like it's just translating physical commerce online, and it's like not hate, but it always catches me. It's just commerce. And it's physical, like there's physical and there's digital, but it's still just commerce. It's just
all retail in the end.
It's happening. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Okay. Cool. Okay, so I got another question from Twitter.
Okay.
Your co-worker, co-founder, or CTO, Rob Shipway, was trolling you a while back about pop-ups, and he literally just said pop-ups ? And then an eye emoji. So like, I want to hear this. What I assume is disgust for pop-ups.
Yeah. So I have mixed feelings about pop-ups.
Okay.
It's predominantly that I hate them. Also Google hates them, which is really like what to me is important, right? Like you're trying to get found on the internet. Don't put something that is stopping you from getting found. That is so silly. And it's also like this, okay? Imagine me walking into Nordstrom, having a great time. La la la, having, right? Got coffee in my hand. What if someone was like, stop, don't enter. You have to enter your information right here, or you can't go any farther. And then to X out, you like have to like do a dance around it. I'm like, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to spill my coffee.
I don't want to spill my coffee. I'm over it.
I don't want to put it down. Like, I just want to keep walking.
Yeah, I want to keep walking. And so there's a real chance that people just bounce. Like now, accident intent pop-ups, fine. If you've been on the page for a while, sure. But why the full screen?
And why right away?
Why right away? And also it takes you, like, what if I'm clicking on shit? Don't stop me from adding things to my cart. That means I'm shopping.
Yeah.
That's when if you're in real life, right, at Nordstrom, you're like, oh, I love that shirt. Do a well with it. Come on, let's go to shoes.
Yep.
What are you doing stopping me from shopping?
I want this shirt.
Like, the goal is to get people to put as much stuff in their cart and to check out. Do not interrupt them while they are shopping. That is the end. Yes, he was trolling me. It's because I said death to pop-ups like 5 years ago. And I still pretty much stand by it. Yeah.
No, I as a consumer find them usually pretty annoying most of the time with how they're implemented. So
that's the thing, is they can be implemented correctly.
Of course. Yeah.
They just most often are not. Like, I feel like, here's the thing, merchants. I know how frustrating it can be. I know that it's hard. Adding more stuff to your storefront does not mean more people will check out. The spinning wheel thing, crappy converted lead. You don't want those leads. You just don't want them.
Yeah.
The more stuff, it's just, and it'll slow it down, and then your core web vitals are gonna get hurt. No, time out. I digress.
Okay.
Get my blood pumping on a Monday. Jeez.
Yeah. Pop-ups, blood pumping, pumping pop-ups. Okay, last one from Twitter is from Mr. Snack Boy Nate Rosen himself.
Oh yes, Mr. Rosen.
asked a while ago when we originally were going to record. How do you see e-commerce pivoting over the next 18 months, given the state of the economy and push towards retail?
Ooh, I mean, I know that we're building for it.
Ooh, you're building. Whoa, you're building for it.
I know we're building for it. I think it would be ridiculous to assume that the growth that we have seen over the past few years, post or since COVID has happened to us, right? I'm not going to say we're post pandemic because we're not. But the growth that we've seen during the pandemic, during lockdowns, is not going to continue into infinity. That's not how. I don't know why it was modeled like that. That's just not real. Like it it doesn't make sense. So yeah, we're going to see a decline in e-commerce as people go back to buying physical goods. How do we make sure that everything is backwards compatible? How do we make a seamless experience going in and out of physical stores? I encourage brands to do little, now that's the kind of pop-up I can get behind, doing physical pop-ups. Do it. It's fantastic. But yeah, I'm really excited about this return to physical. I think we're going to see some really cool stuff. I think we're going to see a lot of innovation in the space. And I think if people aren't going to innovate in the space, they need to rethink what they're doing, because betting on, look, e-commerce is going to win. It will win. It already has won. That doesn't mean people won't still physically shop. Don't forget that people are real. There's humanity in spending. There's humanity in buying. And to Nate's point, probably, and what he was asking regarding the recession, people still give gifts in a depressed economy. That's known. It might be a smaller gift, but they will still give a gift. They will give a gift before buying something for themselves. So,
love it. Great answer.
Yeah.
That was a great way to start to wrap things up. So, anything that was on the top of your mind besides all your spicy, amazing takes today, or things you've been working on lately, trends you've been seeing, or any last words you just wanted to like let out into the microphone?
Last words I want to let out into the microphone. This is very spicy. Actually, I don't know if it is. I feel terrible for all of the people that are involved with the FTX debacle. I hope that everyone listening's money is safe. I think what happened was predatory. It defied all banking rules. The loan deposit ratios were atrocious. And I hope that this means there will be more regulatory stuff happening in crypto. I've never been bullish on crypto, but I know a lot of people are who are listening. And I'm sorry if you've been impacted by people's reckless abandon with your money.
Lovely. I hope that as well for those folks that it's been insane and wild to follow along there. Yeah, and it's close. I still say e-commerce. People think crypto sometimes. Like they're like whether you like it or not, they're sort of combined together depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, and a lot of brands have had FTX, but we did not. I'm very bearish on crypto. Very, very bearish on crypto, probably because I come from banking or traditional banking. But a lot of brands have FTX exposure, and it's, oh God. I mean, I hope he goes to jail. I shouldn't have. No, I mean it. Like you can't do that with people's money. We have FDIC insurance in banking for a reason. You can't have over a certain, like their loan to debt ratio was like, it's just absurd. It's absurd. Yeah. They didn't have enough loan to deposit ratio. They didn't have enough deposits on hand. That's like literally banking 101. How do you make a loan? We have enough deposits to offset it. Oh, what? It should never be 2-to-1 in the opposite direction. I digress.
I appreciate all of your all your takes, honesty, transparency, and fun. Really appreciate your time and for sticking with all the technical issues. So where do you want to point people to? Where do you want to send them if they want to talk to you about Ventov or Gavalo or pop-ups?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Rhian Katie, RhianKatie. You can find Gavalo at govalo.com. You can find Ventov at VENNTOV.com. You can address all hate mail to the circular file in your house. And besides that, yeah, that's really it. I'm on the internet. I'm pretty easy to find. But if you send me a LinkedIn message, there's like a very high chance I won't see it. So please just send me a Twitter DM. I will more than likely see it there.
Awesome. Twitter, not LinkedIn. Rhian, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. I enjoyed talking with you and getting to know more about gift cards.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Everyone else, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. Go ahead and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks. That's it for today. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. I love being able to do this, continue to learn, and meet people in this industry. Every rating, review, and episode you share with a friend means so much to me, as I'm bootstrapping this show as part of my media brand, High Key Geek. If you haven't checked out my other show, Brand Builders, you should. It's with myself and Tom Brown and Richie Machiko. 2 times a week, we talk in a much more casual setting, and we think out loud, we brainstorm, and we share our lessons as we continue to operate and run businesses in the D2C space today. We didn't exit, we didn't just consult and advise now, and we're in the trenches as we like every day still. So we're learning in real time and sharing it with you as we go. That's Brand Builders on High Key Geek YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever else you find your podcasts. Catch you next time.